Good afternoon. It's time for yet another NFL Bucky's Mail Day. This is your host, Mike C. Of course, as always, the star of the show, it's Bucky. Say hi, Bucky. Bucky says hi. It's Tuesday, and we're happy today for once. We're coming off a great win for the Lions. They beat the hated Minnesota Vikings 34-23. I won't say they dominated the game, but they controlled, I'd say, a great portion of the game. And, a lot of good scoring drives, quick touchdowns. The Lions' first round pick I don't think it's the only catch, but he got a touchdown, like a 40-yard touchdown. Jameson Williams, and that was it wasn't a great catch. Kind of fell right into him, but still, regardless, he's on the scoring card. And he'll be used a lot more later on. But the best thing was to beat the Minnesota Vikings. And the Lions are probably the hottest team in the NFL right now. Maybe the Eagles are hotter. But the people are talking about them and not mocking them for once. And it's great to see. It's unnerving a little bit. It's, because I'm not used to it. But it's great to hear people are praising him. Online they're praising him. On podcasts and things like that. And it's great to hear. Now, they got a tough matchup coming up this week. They had 3 home games. Now they're going to go on the road, I think 3 of the next 4. And they got a really tough one coming up against the New York Jets. And Robert Saleh, who was kind of talked about for the Lions, a head coaching job. Jets are a little banged up. Best defensive player, and their quarterback got literally cut in half. Well, not literally, but close. And so they got a great chance of winning this one. I'm not going to say playoffs yet, but they're getting close to 500. And because the Vikings are, a really good team, even though we beat them last week. But the Lions got off to a really, really terrible start. But it's picking up, and it's looking pretty good. The only bad thing about last week was the Rams won. They beat the Raiders. The Raiders. They were down 13-6, something like that. And they came back, and they won the game thanks to their quarterback, Johnny Manziel. And but they can't lose them all. I forgot to check who they play this week. Right now they stand 4th overall, and 2 other teams, the Bears and the Seahawks, are ahead of them, as well as the Texans. That's not going to change. So we need to be at least 3rd to get one of the really prime draft picks next year, either Jalen Carter or Williams from the Bama. If they don't get them, there's a couple of scenarios they could trade down a little bit if they finish lower than that. They could trade up. I don't see that happening. Another team could replace them and then get 2 quarterbacks, and that would leave them, if they're 4th, with one of those 2 guys. Otherwise, I'm happy with Myles Murphy at 4. He's a Clemson defensive end. Great player. I would be very happy if he was on the Lions. And then my second choice is a corner, preferably a man-to-man corner, because the Lions play. And they got torched last week. Okudah was not feeling well. Kirk Cousins had 400-plus yards. Their great wide receiver had 200, and I think it was 23 or 12, one of the record, Vikings record. So, it wasn't pretty, and they did get torched, but they maintained it. And they got a lead, and they added to it, and they kept them, but it was close. It was close. And Carl and I went out to Buffalo Wild Wings, so shout out to them. Had some boneless wings and an ice cream cake thingy at the end, which was very nice. There's a couple of Lions fans there and a couple of Viking fans. Didn't really interact that well because they were busy drinking, but that's okay. But it was a great game, and we split the series, so that's the best we can hope for between the two of us. And so they got the Jets coming up, so that's an important game. Then they got, I'm not sure the order, they got the Panthers, Bears, and Packers coming up. Winnable games, so we'll see what happens. Um, Now this week's gonna be tough because the Bears, I believe, they play the Eagles. They're not gonna win that game. I'm not sure the Seahawks play or the Broncos play, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's looking good for the Lions, which is rare at this time of year. The other teams, the Hawks aren't doing a damn thing except for losing, and their season's pretty much over. And the Reds are doing absolutely nothing in free agency, which is very disappointing. Um, there was a thing on Facebook today that I didn't really sign, but I liked. That was to sell the team because they're not doing anything. Everybody else is, I'm not a big advocate of just selling the farm and spending, hundreds of millions of dollars, but they're doing absolutely nothing to improve this team. And it's just going to be another, we got to build from within. Well, there comes a point where you have to go outside and they're not doing anything. So it's very discouraging. I realize it's going to be a very, very long season. And they were bad last year, and they kept the stupid manager, which I was not a favor of. They're going to fire him anyway, so it's going to be a long season, Reds fans. So as well as the Hawks, but the Lions are keeping their end of the bargain, so that's good. No real news for the Badgers. They still got the bowl game coming up. They lost some players to the portal, but they got some great players back, and they got some players through it. There's a 4-star recruit at corner that they got. I'm impressed with their new coach. I think, as much as they lost, they'll gain, I think. They're in top contention for a very, very good quarterback from Cincinnati, where the coach came from. And he was a 4-star recruit, I think. So we'll see what happens. It's not for, I'm not sure when the exact date is. It's coming up, I think, another week or two. I can't swear to that. But I like the guy. He seems, I won't say he's no nonsense, but he's down to earth and he's all in, and I really appreciate that. And I think the Badgers will do well. Jim Leonard, I wish him nothing but the best. If he stays in the college or goes in the pros, he was a great asset to the team, and I wish him the best of luck. And he'll do great wherever he lands, I'm sure. Christmas is coming up. Speaking of Christmas, Bucky, what do you have in front of you? We have our Rudolph. It's a motion detector little figurine. It needs sunlight, but when it does, it nods its head. And it's kind of quiet now because there's no sun down here, really. But it goes all the time. So, because Christmas is coming up, next Sunday will be a week. I was going to save it for next week. We'll do it this week. And so happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. If you don't, that's, I guess that's okay. It's kind of your problem, but it's not going to stop me from wishing people Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and all that good stuff. That's just the way it is. And so New Year's is coming up. We probably won't go out. I mean, we can't, So anyway, we're too old for that stuff. But we did enough of that. At least I did in my youth, and not youth, but my teenage years and younger years. Younger years. That's a better way of saying it. And had some good times, a lot of bad times. Just wasn't that great sometimes. But holidays are coming up. We're gonna be baking next weekend. Carl's gonna be baking cookies and a bunch of good stuff. I'll probably make my party mix. I got lasagna to make, and Carla gets paid this Friday so we can get more groceries and all that good stuff. And so that's coming up. And I'm still waiting for my last Christmas present for her. It's still stuck in New York. Why, I don't know. But we might get it after Christmas, which is going to suck, but what can you do? We'll get it when we get it. I'd like to get it before. We might. I don't know. It's not a guarantee. Um, it said by the 27th, so hopefully we'll get it sooner than that. But then she'll have one other present to wrap or unwrap, I should say. So that's exciting. We're having her sister and her husband over. We're gonna light our fire pit in the back, like I mentioned last video. The last video, I thought we're gonna push it back to Monday. I thought I'd do a lot better. I only did 3 or 4 views, which I was a little disappointed on that. But I can't control that, and it is what it is, Bucky. And so if this gets the same, that's fine. Like I said, I make them for myself, and other people see it, and enjoy it. That's great. Um, but unless it's a mock draft, it usually doesn't do that well. Once in a while, it'll surprise me, but why, I don't know, because the titles are not geared towards football usually. Not always, anyway. I have no idea what I'm going to call this. I'll come up with something, obviously. But that's about it, Bucky. Not too much else going on. Uh, Anything else I can think of? We just went for a walk. It's 50 plus degrees outside, so Suki and I went for a nice walk, and we both kind of needed that. And a little windy, but not bad at all. So that was fun. We actually had thunder last night, which is weird for December. Just one lightning, or thunder. I should say thunder, not lightning. One thunder clap, I guess, which is kind of weird. But we actually got some rain that we could hear. So the weather's, really different, really weird. Up north, there's a lot of snow. We're going to get more of snow. We have nothing down here, which is great. And so we're just waiting for Christmas. And so Rudolph is getting ready to go out in case it's storming out. And we're going to call it, Bucky. It's over 12 minutes. So for Mike C, and of course, the star show, as always, it's Bucky. Say bye, Bucky. Bucky says bye. And watch the video, enjoy it, like it, all that good stuff. Join if you want. That hasn't happened in a long time. But happy holidays and take care, everybody, and stay safe. All right, bye now.